So, I've been driving around on this thing for like a week, and we're definitely experiencing some tire rubbing on some fender, like up in here. So, we're gonna try to do some hammer clearancing, slash maybe some cutting, I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. But, yeah, I just don't want to damage my new tires, so we'll keep these babies nice. So there's like this little nub right here too that I kind of see a little tire mark on, so I'm gonna get rid of that. There's like a little piece of this plastic here I'll probably get rid of on the fender liner. At least try to melt it or something, I don't know. But most of it's here on this inner part, and it's not even so much the lip, but I will get rid of some of the lip. But I think I might have to put some relief cuts or something here to make this work. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to open the hood and look from the other side and see what's on the other side. Not bad for a little 1/4 inch impact. I mean, these were torqued down to 100 foot-pounds, so. Alright, let's get out of the rope.
Beep, beep. I'm already back in the rope. What? Chop, chop. What you?
My hammering attempts were futile. I may have dented a few things in and maybe made a couple millimeters of clearance in some places, but I think that's about it without cutting shit. So we're gonna have to maybe take a step back and punt or some shit, figure this out, do some research. Yeah. It's been about a week. I know I'm bad at this, but just want to show y'all. Had to do some like self-clearancing, and I'm about to rip these wheels off, so maybe that's probably a better time to show you because you can't see shit right now. But about to do the tie rods. I feel like I've done this a million times. Oops. Dang. Driver's side, same thing. It's cut out only like 4 or 5 inches into it to eliminate that rounded part. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on camera or not, maybe in post. And same thing, tire hits like right here on this little spot of the fender, but we'll just let that self-clearance. I do see a little spot up here, but that could also be before I did some other things. Who knows? Over here too, a little bit of hitting, but like I said, we'll let those parts self-clearance. Over here is where it was rubbing the majority, and I still haven't even rolled this little lip yet. As you can see, it's still there. So one of the things I didn't really like about the DJM kit though too is with these shocks that they recommend, they're their own brand shocks. Like look at this shock mount top. Let's see if I can get it on camera. It's all like deformed and pushed out one way, not even centered in the hole. Like compared to the factory shock top mount, which I may just switch them back to that. I'm not sure if I can, but I'm gonna try it. It was much beefier, much better made. So let's get this tie rod off, and of course I had to get this thing, because if you don't get this thing and you're doing these rack and pinion style tie rod inners, like without it, you're more manly than me, I guess, because this shit is so easy, man. You just put this tube on it, right size collar for the actual inner, and you just turn it from the outside of the car over here. You never have to really get up under there. So yeah, plus in my book. We're gonna inspect this shit too, because I don't even know. This lady just gave me whatever. Pretty sure it's right, but it's a Chevy Silverado. How could you fuck that up? There's only one fucking tie rod in this box. Is there another box? Or did I get ripped off? Oh, another box. Just an idiot. Nothing to see here. Alright, let's see. I mean, yeah. Looks pretty good. Can't hate on that. Alright, what do these inners look like? Interesting. Has its own sort of boot on it already. Okay. Okie dokie. That one's gonna be a little bit hard to tell until we actually take the one that's on here off and the boot off and all that. Which, it needs new boots. For the record, I'm just gonna put these on here, get it close, and then figure out what's going on, because I think the rack is leaking, and I was looking, and a new rack is kind of expensive. They offer rebuild kits. I probably could source one from the junkyard if it really came down to it. But we're gonna have to obviously address those situations and make the best cost-effective decision here for longevity of this vehicle. I do think I'm also gonna tighten up my tie rod links. My sway bar links, because it just has a bunch of gaps in it, and I feel like when I'm like on the highway and the wheels are kind of at that like floating state, you know, so to speak, they kind of jingle. I hear the little things going jing 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 jing. So I think they just have a little bit too loose. You know, they really stress in the instructions not to over torque them. So I was being very generous. I might actually torque those down a little bit more though. Let's get these tie rods off though. So I'm gonna try to, you know, obviously mimic how long it was to get it back to where it kind of is close, because it's riding pretty straight right now without an alignment, but I do plan on getting alignment. That's why I'm doing this. But this nut, you know, that I already loosened it last time, so it came off really easy, thank God. But I'm actually gonna screw it back kind of snug, just hand tight, so that's my length of where it goes. BFH time, boy. This thing should not be as hard. There we go. Woo! Well, that thing did not want to come out. Alright, so like I said, hand tied over here. Now we gotta get this undone. I need a wrench. Use this adjustable. Yup. One thing I just noticed here is that this thing does not have a grease fitting on it. It's a contained unit. Guessing it already came greased because it's sealed boot. Hope so. So the way that this thing works is you find whatever size in the kit is the size for your inner tie rod, and then you'll actually put it on the tie rod and then slide this tube over it while it's on there, and then you basically lock it down like this. Spin that around, bam. So it has a 1/2 inch drive on this side. So you spin it from all the way out here on the car without even having to go under. Well, hour later, this thing is a complete fail. Basically, it's hitting the sway bar and it won't let it get the proper alignment to be able to unscrew it, and the part that's on the factory tie rod to actually grip to is just like barely anything at all. So see, like the new one has a nut that goes all the way around it. Yeah, factory shit has barely a little slit on either side, and it is not coming out easy. I don't know what to do. I'm about to punt. Alright, so turns out I'm an idiot. Likely story, right? You know, definitely wasn't using the right collar. The one that I actually found when it actually was the right one, like barely went on it. You kind of had to even almost hammer it on, force it on a little bit, and it makes this thing just so much more sturdy. So I actually ended up hooking it up and getting it, so it's actually spinning, which is legit. Oh God, almost just whacked myself in the face. But yeah, it's coming out. Yay. So I got both tie rods out, and they're the wrong replacement ones. The threaded part on the replacement ones is way too small to even fit in the rack, so they She must have gave me the wrong ones. I need to figure out how to get back to the store now. If the truck is down, I probably have to take the 240, but it's blocked in the driveway, so I'm gonna have to try to do some crazy shit and get it out. Okay, so we got the right parts. Right tie rod now. New tie rod end. I just gotta tighten everything down. I kind of rough adjusted it to the length of what it was. Yeah. Put the other side on, slap the wheels back on, and then try to figure out where I'm gonna get boots from, because I ain't got no boots at the store. Finally got some boots. When I took them out of the box, I was like, what the fuck is this little nipple for? And then I was thinking, like, how am I gonna position this and whatnot? And I didn't even notice until I took off the actual rest of whatever was left of the stock boot. There's that actual rod that goes the entire length between boot to transfer the air. I was like, man, I've never seen this before. Pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna put that back in. I actually have one of the new boots already on here. It's probably hard to see on this camera because it's super dark. Sun's going down. It's kind of weird. It's like a gap right there, but I know it's tightened down all the way, so must be the boot right there. Probably need to, yeah, or maybe it's just the angle it's at. We are gonna put the boots on. See, I got a piece of tape to kind of mark like where it was. Then we're going to give it another rough alignment when everything's back together again. And I actually talked to Mavis Tire about doing an alignment, and the one that's not right down the road but a little bit further down the road for me has a in-ground alignment rack machine, so it's no issue for me to get up on there with this low truck. So that is a plus. I'm going to be doing that soon just to, you know what I mean, finalize it. I've also noticed that I made a big boo-boo, and I don't know why, but I'm an idiot. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Apparently I touched these rotors with some greasy hands, and now I've cooked both the rotors. They're both warped, both vibrating like hell. But I plan on getting new brakes anyway for this thing. It's probably going to be the next mechanical upgrade for the truck. Brakes all the way around, refresher. It's got drums in the rear. I really wish I could figure out how to get a disc in the rear and not like throw off biasing and whatever. I got to do some more research though. I don't really know enough about it. If anybody does know more about it than I do, please let me know. I'm not even going to take the tie rod end off. I'm just going to spin this here in place. This one's much easier than the other side. You know what? Go ahead and tape it now. Forget to put your nut back on. I did the other side and didn't put it back on. So all we have to do now is put the tie rod back together and give it another rough alignment like we had done before. The old eyeball alignment, if you will. Worked pretty good, honestly. It's driving pretty good. Definitely needs a real alignment though. Just like that. She goes back in. Tighten it up. Like I said, put it on the ground and see where we're at. In case you were wondering, this is how I'm doing my eyeball. Kind of coming back here and looking and seeing like where we're at. Just trying to get it as straight as possible. If anything, a little toe out. Same thing on this side. And it looks like I'm there. So I'm gonna tighten down these old locking nuts and call her a day. Another new thing though is this is what the wheels look like with the center caps. So much better. Obviously they're not painted yet, but new tires are actually on the back now as well. I don't think you guys have seen that yet. Plenty of clearance. Probably gonna have to go another inch lower in the rear, which is what most people say, to make it completely level front to back. Just some 1 inch lowering shackles for the rear. And I may do something about stiffening up these springs in the front. I just want to stiffen it up. It rides great, but I almost would rather it be stiffer and be able to take turns a little bit sharper. So I'm looking into spring stiffeners, like little plastic inserts that go in between the spring coils. And I'm also not opposed to welding steel rods in between the springs. I've seen people do that before. It's kind of like a ghetto hack for blown ones. But I think in this case, if I just did a couple in the middle, you know what I mean, it would stiffen up my spring probably a whole hell of a lot. Or maybe on the ends. Not really sure. I'll probably do it in the middle just to be safe. But I think that might help it actually get a little bit tighter in the turns. Maybe even an upgraded sway bar in the front or something. I'm not really sure. I'm going to look into some options though. It's not that I don't like the way it is now by any means, don't get me wrong, but it could be way better, I feel like, with a little bit of work. So that's where we're at. Truck's great though, man. I've been driving it to work every day. I'm digging these center caps on the wheels too. They just make it look so much better. Completed wheel. Doesn't look as crazy, but it still looks crazy, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Another way to go look at this too is I just thought about this is there's a gap between the fender here. I wonder what my gaps in my fenders look like. Oh, see, this one's got a way bigger gap, but I mean that's not necessarily a good judgment because the body could be off or something like that, so you never know. But maybe I'm gonna look into something here. That's gonna be it for this video, guys, but definitely gonna have some more stuff coming soon. I can't wait to start working back on this thing again too. I've been kind of giving it some neglect, and the other night I had push button start failure, so I got to address that. And I'm still missing a fuse box cover here, and I've been trying to find one, and they're like super expensive. Can't find one anywhere. Another couple thing too is this window motor started messing up on me. I'm gonna have to address that. And the gauge cluster lighting was like not coming on with my lights. Kind of flickered when I was hitting bumps, so I'm gonna look into all that. Still riding. I need some more buddies that ride though, so we can really get down. I've just been kind of putting by myself. I don't even know what my bike does, you know what I mean? I have no idea against other bikes. Yeah. Man, I gotta clean this garage up too, man. This shit's a mess. Finally start working on that bumper, probably be the first thing I probably finish and paint, put on here. Yeah, other than that, stay tuned.